Here we go, Southern California Rap Albums, Volume 4. So the first one I have here is West Coast Resurrection by The Game. This probably came out in like 2005 maybe. Get Low Records. I think this was after the release of the documentary. His debut album with Aftermath, G-Unit. But JT the Bigga Figga from the Bay Area was kind of instrumental in The Game's early career, so he put this out after The Game got a bigger name for himself. So JT the Bigga Figga's all over here. And this album's okay. It's nothing I put on in many years, but kind of cool to find. I forgot about that. Look how young he is there. Okay. Death Row's Snoop Doggy Dogg Greatest Hits. So this is a greatest hit release that came out in 2000 on Death Row Records and Doggy Style Records. So despite their beef at the time, I guess Death Row and Snoop's label managed to put this out together. Or at least had something worked out. And so this has got, all of his old classics, Nothing But a G Thing, Gin and Juice, Murder Was the Case, Ain't No Fun, all those songs. But there's a couple remixes on here, and a couple unreleased songs. The one that sticks out to me is Midnight Love with Raphael Saadiq of Tony Tony Tony. And I love Tony Tony Tony. They're from the Bay Area. And talk about them some other time. Exhibit, Restless. This came out on Loud Records in 2000. And I believe this is Exhibit's third full-length album. But this is the one that really brought him to the mainstream. Dr. Dre was the executive producer. It got a lot of hype when it came out. And what are the songs I like on here? Been a Long Time with Nate Dogg. Get Your Walk On. This has always been a weird one for me. The beats were good. Exhibit's a talented rapper, but... And I'm not the only one that feels this way. Just something about Exhibit, I don't think people took entirely seriously. And I don't know why. Again, quality album, it just feels kind of plastic. But it's hard to criticize. I don't know. I haven't put this on in forever. The East Siders, presented by Snoop Dogg. This is an awesome album. This came out 2000 on TVT. So this was Snoop with Trey D and Goldie Loc. This was their debut album. I think they had 3, but the third one, it was either not released at all or got released on an independent label many years later. But I remember around the time it was supposed to come out, I got a download of it, and it was good stuff. It's unfortunate, but this album's got everyone from Rappin' Forte to Corrupt, Exhibit, Cam. My favorite songs on here are LBC Thing, Doghouse, The East Siders, Now We Lay 'Em Down. You'll see in like some Snoop Dogg videos and different maybe some different albums, they've shown this here. VIP Records in Long Beach. I mentioned in a video or two ago that my best friend from high school lived in LA for a while. And one day we got in the car and just kind of took a cruise through Compton. I think it's changed a lot, but it didn't really look all that bad to me. But Compton and Long Beach are side by side. And there's the VIP Records, and I really wanted to go. So we get there, and the store was unfortunately closed. I think it was a Sunday, but I took a couple pictures in front of it. This is Gangsta Crunk by Daz Dillinger. Gangsta Advisory Records, 2005. So this might kind of give you the wrong impression that this is some like Little John ripoff. And it's not. It was just kind of like a Daz album. It was a gangster rap album that was just a little bit more high energy. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, there's a song on here, It's Time to Ride on 'Em, featuring Yo Gotti. Big fan of that one. And I don't really follow Yo Gotti. He's from Memphis. I don't really follow his current career all that close, but I used to like his underground stuff quite a bit. Okay, back to the game. Jesus Piece, 2012 on Geffen Records. And again, as I've said a couple times, I have conflicting feelings on the game, but I thought this album was really cool. And the thing I always remember in particular is there's that song, Celebration with Chris Brown, just kind of their take on First of the Month by Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. And again, going back to one of my LA trips, I just remember there was a summer where it seemed like everywhere I was in LA, I was hearing that song like on cars passing by, or just kind of playing on a patio or coming out of a store somewhere. So I'll always remember that. 213, 3 The Hard Way. This came out in 2004 on TVT. And what this was the long anticipated release of the joint album of Snoop, Warren G, and Nate Dogg. And it was not a disappointment at all. Solid release. My favorite one on here was Lonely Girl and Joystick. $1995, a Death Row classic, The Dog Pounds, Dog Food. This was their debut album. Of course, Daz and Corrupt. "10 out of 10 album. I gotta go with Respect, I Don't Like to Dream About Getting Paid, and So Much Style. Those are my favorites on here. DPG, basically a Dog Pound album. There's probably some legal things going on at the time. Dillinger and Young Gotti. This was put out on DPG Records in 2001, and this is another classic album. It had a more modern sound, but it was unique. They were on fire here. The beats are great. And actually, one thing I always kind of remember about this, I found it kind of I hate to use the word, I don't want to say offensive album, but just kind of the language and the subject matter on here was pretty extreme, I thought. But this is a good one. Retaliation, Revenge, and Get Back by Daz Dillinger. What year was this one? I can't really see too well. I think it was 1998. So this was after Tupac died, after Snoop left. Everyone had left Death Row Records except for Daz. And for a short period of time, he was definitely representing them hard. But that didn't last. The guy that stuck with Death Row the longest, he'd probably, in the end, have the most extreme beef with Suge after that. Playa Partners would be legit. I love that one. It Might Sound Crazy with Too Short. In California. Riding High with WC. And The Ultimate Come Up. That might be my favorite one on here. that's it. That was actually a really good batch, and I'll see you on the next one.